Hi, this is Dr. Ben Morrill. Welcome to episode 101 of Reptile Genetics Weekly. Glad to have you here with us. We got a fun, exciting guest here with us today. Talk a lot about awesome projects that are going and a little bit about social media and YouTube and just kind of all the fun and interesting things that they're into. So looking forward to that. As far as updates for samples, we should have results going out for fast tests pretty much every day this week. Thankfully, we've been able to say that a couple of weeks in a row. A little less weather going on. And then let's see, the sex determination results should go out a couple times this week for ball python and for colubrids. And then the panel results are probably a couple weeks out still, since we just sent them out about a week and a half ago. So that'll be a little ways out. The other cool thing is we've got more research information coming in on new test development. So over the next couple of weeks, we'll have some cool things to say about that. But yeah, anyway, things are moving along. I know a lot of you were at Tinley this last weekend, and we've shared some posts and videos that people have put up. That's a exciting time for the March Tinley. Very cool, and we're setting up plans what all shows we'll be going to, so we'll be talking about that soon, where all we plan to be, either me or Sean or Kayla, where we'll be in person this year, and we'll let y'all know. So but yeah, I think that's all I have. Kayla, how are you doing?
Hey Ben, I'm doing great. I am starting to see starting to see locks from my rat snakes. Well, just one so far, but it's a good one. And lots of good breeding behavior from my hog noses. So I'm hoping this year I can actually produce some hoggies. And I haven't seen any locks from them, but it's still really exciting. We've had a lot of overcast days, so it's been perfect. So let's see what's going on. It's an exciting
Oh
time of
yeah,
year, like you said.
definitely fun,
Yeah.
fun, fun.
But yeah, let's get some business stuff now out. Just let's knocked out of the way. Mixing my metaphors here. So for those of you who don't know, our All Axanthic special is here for the month of March. So um, if you have an Axanthic, you don't know what flavor it is, this is the perfect time to get that. For $65, you're basically buying two and you're getting the third one. We are basically running all of our Axanthics for you. So you pay for the first two and then write all Axanthics on the sample bag or whatever you're shipping it in, and then we will run all of them for you so you get those results.
Yeah, so that'll be through the month of March. We have
Yes.
we look up the order number and shed ID each time you send it in, and if we see it was purchased in March and it says all Axanthics, then you're gonna get hooked up.
Yep. Exactly. And if you didn't hear from last week, we are doing live streams on Thursdays. It doesn't have an official name other than just Live Stream Thursdays, but we do Q&A. If you're waiting for test results, and we have them, we will give you your updates live during the show if you want to do that. And we just kind of talk about cool things that's going on around the hobby. It's very interactive, kind of like the Reptile Genetics Weekly, but you're there and we're chit chatting with you while we do it. So very, very low key. We kind of do a relaxed setting in this show too, but it's even more just show up, hang out during your lunch break. So
Yep. And last week, someone had a question about yellow belly complex and the mutations there, and we ended up pulling up the scientific paper and talking about some of that on the show, and people were able to have follow-up questions about that. So yeah, it's kind of a nice way if there are topics that you all are interested in talking about and asking questions, and it's a great spot for that.
oh yeah, for sure. We enjoyed it. We do it for about an hour. So yeah. As far as ball python sheds that we are looking for, the list is the same as last week. Hopefully, we'll be able to knock a few of these off the list with this new round of information that's coming through this week. So, fingers crossed. Maybe on Thursday when we do the live stream, we'll have some more news for you. But we'll see. But if you do want to send sheds for research purposes, all you need is a single quarter-size patch of skin. You don't need to send the whole shed. Make sure that it's dry and hasn't been wet or like soaked in a water dish or anything like that, because that does denature or destroy the protein that lets us do the research. But if it's a good shed, make sure the ID is labeled, post any known morphs, any possible morphs. Morph combos are fine. And any lineage or breeder info is very helpful for us when we have those weird cases, which we sometimes talk about on the show. So, yeah, I think that's all our business stuff. Let's go ahead and bring on our guest today. So this is Mike of Balls of Fury.
How you guys doing today? Nice to see you.
Good seeing you. Thanks
Very
for
glad
joining
to
us.
have you here.
Thanks for having me on, you guys. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan. I've been a big fan.
Yeah, no,
We're fans of yours too. You've done
Yes.
a great job with your both the Instagram and YouTube is what I've seen, but I know you're doing other things too. You also vend shows, don't you?
I haven't been to the show yet, actually. I've never been to the show. Just
Really?
social media mainly, and all my sales have been online so far. But I definitely plan to vend a show at some point.
There you go.
Getting
But
there.
you have done videos at shows, right?
Yeah. I've done
Yeah.
I've done a pretty big video at the Daytona show. I interviewed a bunch of the people vending there. That was really cool. That actually was my highest performing YouTube video. So thanks to everybody
Oh,
who let me interview them and showed some animals off for it. So that was cool.
Are you going
awesome.
to Daytona again this year?
I don't think I'm going to go to Daytona this year. I think I'm actually going to try to go to Tinley in October. I haven't been to
Yeah.
Tinley ever. So I think Tinley's going to
Same.
be the move this year.
Yes. Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I love Daytona though. Daytona, for me, I lived in Daytona for a couple of years, so that's like home to me.
Yeah, of course.
So
I've
that's
gone,
why I always go to that one.
I think I've gone 2 or 3 times, but the last time I went was 2019. I haven't gone since before COVID, so but I am going this summer. I'll be there.
Awesome.
All
Yeah, it's a
right.
great show. I love the Daytona show.
Yep, and I
Yeah.
will be at Tinley also, so I'll get to meet you.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Awesome. So, Mike, for our guests who, by some miracle, have not heard of you, or y'all's Instagram or YouTube, do you want to tell us about like how you got into the hobby?
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Mike. I am the founder and owner of Balls of Fury, along with my business partners, AJ, Darius, and Dre. I met those guys down in college and kind of put them onto the reptile world, or ball pythons more specifically.
Mhm.
And they ended up really liking it. And they did a bunch of research on their own to kind of prove to me that they were interested and wanted to get involved in it. So I made them my partners, and they've been my partners ever since. But my first experience ever with ball pythons in general was when I was about 11 or 12 years old. Every weekend, me and my parents would go to my uncle and aunt's house to just hang out or go out to dinner or whatever. And one weekend we went over there, and my uncle had a fish tank set up, or an aquarium set up, but there was no fish in it. There was mulch, there was hiding places, there was branches, and I was like, as a kid, I'm curious. I'm like, what's in there? And he's like, oh, I just got a pet snake. And he was like, you want to hold it? And I was like, yeah, I want to hold it. So he
Yeah.
takes it out. And from that day on, I was hooked. I was begging my parents to let me get a ball python for like 2 years. And
Mhm.
finally, on my 15th birthday, they got me my first ever ball python. So
Oh.
that's when it started. And I kept a variety of different kinds of reptiles as a teenager. I had like a green iguana, I had a bearded dragon, I
Yeah.
had the ball python. I even had some boa constrictors too. But when I got ready to go to college, my parents were like, yeah, we don't really want the responsibility of taking care of all your reptiles. So either take them with you or rehome them. And I couldn't take them to college with me. So I ended up rehoming all of them, which was sad. And
Yeah.
I got out of it for a couple years, and then I went down to graduate school in Daytona Beach. And you guys know in Florida that Florida is like the mecca of reptile stuff in the United
Yes.
States. So I went to a local pet shop one day just because me and my roommate wanted to get a pet, and I was like, "Dude, we should just get a snake. Like they're super low maintenance. I
Hmm.
know how to take care of it. I know you're a little bit scared of them, but trust me, once you like kind of hold it and you get to know it, it's not that bad." And he ended up really liking the snake too.
Hmm.
So my first ball python I got then was a spider ball python, and that's kind of what started Balls of Fury. I started going on YouTube and watching all the other breeders out there, like Justin, Brian Barczyk at the time,
Hmm.
Miguel, all those guys. And when I started out as a teenager, the only morphs like I had ever saw was a pied, like pastels, stuff like that, the early stuff. And when I got back into it in 2020, didn't even know there was all these other morphs out there, so it kind of blew my mind and got me really excited about it. And
Yeah.
I started to pick out my favorite morphs and started investing in them. And here we are now, 40 snakes later.
Yeah.
So when you started really working on your social media or online presence, how many snakes did you have at that point?
So I started the social media in 2021. I got my first ball python that started Balls of Fury in 2020. So about a year later, I started the Instagram page, and I want to say I had about 7 ball pythons when I started the page.
Okay.
I really didn't have that many. And my thought process in starting social media was just like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this as a business, I need to promote it. And by the time I have babies, if nobody knows who I am, who am I going to sell snakes to, you know?
So,
Yeah. That's
So
fair.
that was really the main purpose of starting it. It wasn't really to try to get famous on Instagram or anything like that. It just was to kind of market and promote what I was doing, and
Yeah.
also just share my passion with people. I love ball pythons, regardless of doing it as a business or not. I would be doing it for free if if it wasn't a business.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how that started, and then
Hmm.
I did Instagram only for a long time. I started the YouTube channel, I believe, about 2 years ago. I want to say I started the YouTube channel. I
okay.
think this will be the second year. Um, and YouTube is a different beast than Instagram, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
The longer form content, it's definitely harder to come up with ideas all the time that I guess you could say are sensational or like exciting. Because you guys work with animals, you know, there's not always something exciting going on. It's just the daily
There's
routine,
a
you
lot
know.
of scoop and poop.
A
Yeah,
lot of scoop and poop.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of cleaning, a lot of waiting around for stuff to grow and get up to size.
Hmm.
So YouTube is definitely a little bit harder, but I definitely noticed the shorts have helped my page grow a lot. I
Yeah.
typically just post, you know, my reels up there as the shorts. Um,
Yeah.
and they've definitely helped a lot. And the other thing I like about social media too is it's just another opportunity for you to get monetized. I'm monetized on both YouTube and Instagram, so
Hmm.
it's always nice to have extra money coming in that you can use towards the business or, you know, your family, whatever you want to do with it. So that's another great thing about social media. That video is
I
awesome.
haven't seen that one.
Play. There we go. There. That's a good. Oh, that's a good baby right there.
She's awesome. She sat really good for that. I was lucky.
Yes,
I'll
she
never ever get that shot again.
did.
You got to try that with your colubrids, Kayla.
Yes, I. Oh my god. Wish me luck. I could maybe do it with a hog nose, a rat snake. We'll see.
If you got that with a hognose snake, that would break the internet.
Oh my god, you're right. I need to get into. I really need to get into making shorts and reels because there's some goofy stuff that happens at least at my place alone. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead, Dr. Brown.
oh, I was just gonna say, so to be able to get these, do you just kind of always have a camera ready to go, or do you kind of set aside time, like a half hour or an hour here or there, where you try to get these kinds of shorts, or how do you go about that?
It's a little bit of both. So I use only my iPhone, even for YouTube and everything. Everything that you guys see on my social medias was filmed with my iPhone. I don't have any fancy
Yeah.
gear. I don't have anything like that. I've got a tripod, my 2 hands, and my phone. That's about it. As far as like the yawning ones goes, I'll let you guys
Mhm.
know how I get those. I just wait till they finish eating and I
Yep.
stand there with my phone and wait till they yawn. Sometimes I'll be standing there for like 10 minutes waiting, but it's usually worth it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get lucky too. Like that other video we were talking about earlier, Kayla, of the
Yeah.
hypo clown yawning. That was just
Yes.
pure luck. Like I was just taking
Oh.
a video of her and she
Mhm.
happened to yawn at that time. So sometimes it's
Fantastic.
luck.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I draw a lot of my ideas and inspiration from some of the audios that I hear on Instagram. A lot of the
Mhm.
audios, especially like the comedy ones or the funny ones, I try to
Oh, yeah.
find ways to relate them to the snakes in ways that other people can relate to it and find it funny. So
Yeah. Makes
um,
sense.
yeah, that's kind of how I draw inspiration for those ideas. And then
Mhm.
as far as like the presentation itself, I always try to make it look as professional as I can. I always want
Right.
to take great pictures of the snakes and
Mhm.
show them the best that I can, because they're awesome and they need to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
promoted well, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. So did
Mhm.
you have any other parts of your life where you did like marketing and promoting? I mean, I think a lot of people really love the animals and really want to work with the animals, but they don't think about the marketing side at all. I think it's really interesting, even at a young age, like that came to your mind, like, okay, if I'm going to make more of these and I want to sell them, people need to know who I am. I think a lot of people early on don't think that way. Was that kind of, or maybe like your parents or family or friends that were into marketing?
So I actually have zero experience in marketing whatsoever. No experience at all.
You're a natural.
This is the most experience I have had with it. Honestly, I would say it probably was just from me doing a lot of research when I started out. And I always tell
Mhm.
people that ask me questions about it. I always say, do as much research as you can. I'm still doing
Mhm.
research. Like I've been
Yeah.
doing it for 5 years and I still watch your guys' show. I still watch interviews with Justin and anybody
Mhm.
that's doing stuff that I see that I want to do. I
Yeah.
try to watch them and listen to what they say. And one thing that a lot of them always said was, promote yourself early. Find
Mhm.
people that are going to want to buy your snakes or network with other people where you can make connections to grow your business or they can help you. So I think it just was, from research and then hearing other people say it. And also my partner Darius really pushed me to do the Instagram page as well. Because
Mhm.
he was just like, dude, you got something special here. Like the snakes
Yeah.
are awesome. You know a lot about them, and just put that out there and the right
Mhm.
people will gravitate to it.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, no, I think that's a good approach. Like just one being a forever student, not in the collecting student loan kind or student debt kind of ways. I've been there, but I'm still paying it off.
Still there. I'm
But
still there too.
yeah, but constantly learning, constantly being a student of your craft as it is, and sharing what you're passionate about because that comes through way better than something polished but you don't particularly care about. So yeah,
Yeah, I think if you're passionate about it too, you'll just do it out of pure passion.
yeah.
A lot of times I'm just in here doing stuff and I'll open a tub and the snake just looks awesome and I'll be like, I gotta take a picture of this or a video of this.
Mhm.
And I'll just try to find a way to use the video on my social media at some point.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just I took a lot of inspiration from Brian Barczyk. He was my favorite YouTuber or
Yes.
reptile influencer. I watched him from a very young age, probably like when I first told you guys about my first experience with ball pythons.
Hmm.
Because in order to convince my parents to let me get one, I had to show them that I kind of knew something about them. So
Yeah. There you
a
go.
lot of the facts and research I learned was literally from Snake Bites TV and YouTube. So
Yeah. Hmm.
That's
I drew a lot of inspiration from him and his passion and not saying I want to be Brian Barczyk or anything like that, but he
Yeah.
definitely, kind of gives you like a foundation of how to be professional and how to
Hmm.
also, share your passion with people.
Yeah.
uh,
I like it.
so the other part of what you've done already this fast, all these things you've done is so cool. The other thing that I wanted to ask is how many Morph Mondays have you done and how did that start?
Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
goodness. So I have posted a Morph Monday. I wrote the date down. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've posted a Morph Monday every Monday since I think like June 20th of 2021. So
That's awesome.
it's been a lot. Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Very
Um,
cool.
and I post it every Monday. Every Monday, I do one to give someone a shout out and just show off a really cool snake. Because
Yeah.
I think people should be celebrated for the work they put in. I know how hard it is to hit some of these combos,
Yeah.
or even
Yes.
get, waiting to get the parents up to size to even make the combos. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think they deserve to get their flowers, and I like to shout them out. And maybe it helps them make a sale or get other people to know who they are.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
and also another big part of Morph Monday is education too. In the captions, I pretty much try to break down what each gene is doing
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
to visually affect the snake's appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you do that. I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
very first contact point I had with you, years back. I hadn't seen or heard anything of Balls of Fury, but that Morph Monday, I was like, man, that is so nice. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
taking the time, and then writing a book. Like, you are very descriptive, exactly what's going on. That's such
Yeah.
a compliment to that person that made that animal, and then also people that are learning. I was like, that is such a beautiful thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of the people that I featured on Morph Monday, thank me a lot for it. And,
I bet.
they really don't need to thank me. I just enjoy doing it. And I try to promote other people, even if I don't know who you are. I try to find people that I don't know who they are, because I
Yeah.
really try to promote people that maybe people haven't heard of. I mean, I could go on Justin's page all day and pick a Morph Monday out for the next like year if I
Yeah.
really wanted to. But I try to find people that maybe we haven't heard about, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of shed some light on them. So I
Yeah.
really love educating people too. I get asked so many questions about like, what jeans should I buy? What will look good together? And I'm like, just read my Morph Monday post, and you can see how the jeans work or what they
Yeah.
do, and
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely. Speaking of passions, like what you sent us some pictures of projects that you are passionate about. So want to talk
Absolutely.
about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So my
Yeah.
favorite morph is lavender albino.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite snake was the dreamsicle. Nice, perfect timing.
Yes. Yes. I got you.
So yeah, that's my girl Beyonce. She is an orange
Beyonce.
green super scrambler dreamsicle, and I'm a huge fan of the scrambler gene. I know there's a lot of controversy around it right now. I don't really care. It's awesome.
It's
um,
beautiful. No
She
matter
is
but
what people
gorgeous.
are fighting about, I bet they don't have anything to say other than it looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. My thing is I don't really care what's going on with it as long as it looks cool. I like
Yeah.
it. Um,
Oh my
but
gosh.
I'll kind of tell you guys what it's doing in this combination specifically. So,
Yeah.
Scrambler in pied is typically a low weight pied. So that's what I really love about
Mm.
Scrambler, because pied is one of my favorite genes. It's one of the genes that really drew me to ball pythons in the beginning.
Hmm.
I mean, if you see a piebald for the first time, it's just a very striking animal. It
Oh
looks
yeah.
crazy. Some people think it's photoshopped when I show them a picture of one.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing with pied that a lot of people don't like is when you start putting all these other genes in it, sometimes they're very high white and you don't actually know what's going on with it. And you're not getting like a really cool visual influence in the pied.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
with Scrambler, what I like about it is that it's like Enchi. You get all the pattern in the pied. And
Hmm.
in the super form, like you guys can see here, it's basically a no white pied from what I've seen and what I've been told by the breeder I got this from. Shout out to Isotope Exotics out of Canada. He's
Hmm.
who I purchased this snake from. Now, the Scrambler also affects the pattern a lot in pied. On its own, it's not really that noticeable, but in pied specifically, it affects the pattern a lot.
Hmm.
And if you guys kind of look, or if you, yeah, this is a perfect video for it. So what the Scrambler also does is you see how the pattern along the side is kind of all like smudged and smeared down the whole side. Like
Yeah.
someone else took a marker and kind of just smudged it across the snake's body.
Yep.
that's really what the Scrambler does a lot, even outside of Pied. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Scrambler project. And one of my questions to you guys is, how can we help you guys kind of develop a test for it, or help to figure out maybe what's going on with it?
Definitely animals like this that are expected to be homozygous or super scramblers. The more of those we can get, the more likely we can find. If there is like one mutation that causes this, that would help us to find that one mutation. Obviously, we don't know for sure, and that's part of, some of the controversy is, what exactly is a scrambler, and some people think a little different look, like that's what a scrambler is versus this. Like, I know there's a lot of questions, but even if there's 2 or 3 different looks that could be scramblers, if people say, hey, this is a scrambler from such and such breeder, this is one from this line, like if we know, okay, there's 2 different lines they came from, or 3, or this has a certain look, this has a certain look, as long as those are categorized when the sheds come to us, the more homozygous ones the better. But even if they're just scramblers and you say, yeah, I got it from this person, we can at least kind of track it. Then when we go to put the information in our software, I can say, okay, this is a scrambler from Mark Mandick. This is a scrambler from Chris Hernan. This is, these are the lineages those came from. I can tell the software to separate those. And so I can then have it be run as one thing, like all scramblers, but then I can also run it as, ones from this person, this person, this person. And sometimes that will help us pop, like maybe when we run them all together, we get kind of a mess, but when we run them just from one person, then we get something that gives us a little signal. As long as we get a location, even if that really is the same mutation in all scramblers, we might get some funky data the first time we search it through all. But if at least one of those lines gives us a good location, then when we go in, we can then look and see what all genes are there. And we can say, okay, there's 50 genes in this, 1 million base pairs. And of those 50, there's 3 that we know from other animals affect color and pattern. Then we can zoom in on those 3 and we can analyze that data. And sometimes we get lucky and that does it. And we find something, we're like, okay, this makes perfect sense. And then we step back and we go back to all those samples people have sent in. And then we test, all those. And even if they're, not completely sure, whatever, we have at that point, we have a test that we're validating. We can run all of those and see what it looks like. And that's when some of you that are listening, we've probably reached out to you, be like, hey, you sent this shed in, said it was a jolt, like this is what we're seeing. We have to kind of reach back out, talk to people and see what we're seeing. But it's definitely a long process. The 2 things, and Kayla hit on this earlier when we were talking about sending sheds in, is let us know what it has in it, let us know what you think it may have in it, and then also let us know some lineage information. And if we have those 3 things, I might not even use that shed for a while, but when I pull that out of my collection, when I'm maybe I get 20 or 30 scramblers sent in because of this video, and all of a sudden I'm digging out all the scramblers that I've had in the past, and that information's there, then that gets used, and it's the most efficient use possible.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which is why that lineage information is so useful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I believe this lineage from this girl came from Marcus Jane's line. Because I believe Isotope bought his original animals from Marcus Jane. That made this animal down the road.
Yeah. So pretty.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I love the Scrambler. I'm really excited for it. I think it's gonna save Pied. Like that's what my take is on Scrambler. I'm really excited because, like I told you guys, Dream School was my favorite snake, like first coming up. And I think that Scrambler, not only for regular Pied, but for the Dream School, is gonna be a game changer for sure. For sure. I know it's a big statement, but that's how much I believe in it.
So you're going to throw some Enchi in there too?
I would love to put Enchi in it. I'm actually thinking about adding another recessive to it. Possibly maybe Sunset or Puzzle. I'm interested to see what Scrambler's going to do with Puzzle.
Yeah, the pattern would be crazy.
And I was really disappointed with the puzzle clown. I thought it was going to be way cooler than it looked. So I'm hoping that puzzle will look cooler and pied is what my
Yeah.
hope is, because I'd love to make a Scrambler puzzle dream school. That would be insane.
Yeah. Oh man. Ben, the reason I pulled these up right after the Scrambler pictures because apparently these came from, did you say Chris Herndon?
Yeah.
Or yeah. And
It's one that I hatched out, but yeah, one of the parents came from Chris. So when he saw this picture, and in person, Kayla can attest to this. In person, he's just a crazy orange.
oh, he's so
He's
pretty.
beautiful.
Yeah. That's pictures of we were taking pictures in Ben's snake room, and I was like, oh my god, this orange contrast with my like UV blue nails, crazy. I need to take pictures of this animal. And I think he was even brighter as a baby, which I think is, or younger, I think, in this left picture. And the lighting makes him look less bright in the older pictures where I'm holding him. But oh man, he's gorgeous.
Any of you that have seen Chris Hernan's really orange animals, like in person, this boy is like, you would say, okay, why didn't you take a good picture of him?
Yeah.
It's just hard to get. Some of them are really hard to get a picture that tells that. But yeah, Orange Dream and Calico and Scrambler together, it seems like that might be part of what Chris is doing.
Absolutely.
That orange, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, Chris was actually I shouldn't say he was the first one, because I did see Marcus Jane make him first. But when I went to Daytona, I actually have it in that video I was talking about earlier, the one that I did like the tour and interviews. I interviewed Chris, and he showed us El Diablo. That was the first time I had seen a Scrambler combination in person. And that was when I was absolutely blown away by the gene. I was like, I got to get this gene at some point. So I actually researched the gene for like a year before I finally invested into it. So that's another thing I would tell people: if they're like skeptical about a gene, research it. If you like it, research it, figure out what the facts are about it. And if you like the way it looks, who cares what it is? Just get it. It's awesome. And maybe it'll translate into your breeding project, but yeah, Chris's animals are insane. The oranges on his snakes are just absurd, and that's a big credit to him. He really focused on that too. He really focused on line breeding that Orange Dream, and I think he calls it the deep orange line, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It does have deep orange.
Yeah, that stuff was insane, and he showed us the deep orange compared to a regular super orange dream, like a super deep orange dream compared to a regular super OD at the show, and the difference is night and day. It's crazy. Yeah. But shout out to Chris. He's awesome. I love Chris. Really nice guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Now this next one, you actually like. So it's a hypo clown for sure, and a gorgeous one. And I think you tested it with us for, was it Confusion?
So I tested it for Hurricane.
That's it.
Hurricane. So funny story. Yeah, funny story. So I posted a picture of this snake as a baby, like you guys see here, and Miguel from Always Evolving Pythons actually reached out to me and messaged me about this snake, and he was like, hey Mike, I think your Hypo clown might have Hurricane in it. It looks a lot like my Hurricane Hypo clown. And he sent me some pictures of his snake, and I was like, wow, they do look very similar. And he was like, you should test it for Hurricane with RGI. So I sent the shed out to you guys, and unfortunately it tested negative. So I still don't know what's going on with it. But the weird thing about the snake too is I don't know who produced it. So when I bought it, I bought it at a Show Me Reptiles Expo up here in Rhode Island. I'm from Rhode Island. So the person I bought it from actually was somebody that would buy and flip reptiles. So like he had a bunch of different snakes, a bunch of different lizards at his table, and I walked by his table and I saw this snake, and I was like, what is going on with this thing? This thing looks crazy. So I was like, I gotta buy this thing. So I bought her, and I don't know if maybe like a granite gene is going on with it. I've had a couple people tell me that. I'm hopeful, and I'm hoping that it's Scrambler for everybody out there.
Be nice.
Yeah.
The reason I think it could be Scrambler is you can't really see it here because she's a baby, but if you look at the dorsal stripe, you can see she's got some circles throughout the dorsal stripe.
Yeah, I see
That's
that.
usually a telltale sign of Scrambler.
Hmm.
And also just that how busy the pattern is and how the pattern is pretty much like all connected down the sides. So I'm hopeful that may be a Scrambler, but I'm not going to call it Scrambler.
Fair. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's just crazy looking. And the fact that that's not a hurricane blows my mind.
Yeah,
Um,
tested negative. Tested negative for hurricane.
wow.
It
Yeah,
is
that's
very busy.
mm-hmm.
And,
Love it.
and
That's
the
gorgeous.
the color was really weird too as a baby. Now it's a little bit more gray, but as a baby, she
Mhm.
was almost like purple. Like
Yeah, I
it was
see.
really weird.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Hypo
Well,
does some crazy looking things, like with
yeah.
like kind of purples, you know.
Yeah, I
Well,
was hoping to breed her this year. I tried to breed her. She ended up reabsorbing. I tried to breed
Oh.
her to an Enchi Leopard Yellow Belly Sunset. I was trying to make some triple hets for
Ooh.
Sunset Hypo Clown, but
Mhm.
she decided not this year, my friend. We'll have to wait till next year.
That's
So
okay.
we'll
I
see
was
what
just
pops out of
gonna
her.
say, yeah. I was just gonna say before you said you were trying to breed her. I was gonna say when you get babies from her, if it seems to be a heritable thing, like half the babies seem to have that.
Mhm.
What we might want to do, it's certainly we've seen it in Ultramel and Yellow Belly and several others now that there's more than one mutation. So if
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does have babies that look like hurricanes, it could be that it's the same gene, but it's a different mutation. It might be
Mhm.
a different, origination point that caused the look.
Yeah.
Or when you do get babies from her, maybe there'll be another granite looking thing it looks more like. But yeah, she's cool.
yeah, she's awesome. She's
Cool.
one of my favorite snakes for sure.
Oh
She's
yeah.
she's big now, and she
Mhm.
still looks really good. That's the thing. Her color held up really nice. She's a lot more gray now, but
Mhm.
she's an awesome snake. Hopefully, we'll get some babies from her next year.
Yeah. That'll be cool. Looking forward to that.
Me too,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
Oh
So
yes.
this Hurricane Split Desert Ghost Blondie. A Split and Blondie, I don't know anything about those. What's going on there?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So,
Yeah.
this snake came all the way from Germany. Shout out
Hmm.
to my friend Hans Winter out in Germany. He's actually the founder of all three of these genes. So he's the founder of Hurricane, he's the founder of Split, and he's the founder of the DG Blondie line.
Whoa.
Um,
That's cool.
so yeah, he imported the DG Blondie line from Togo, Africa, back in 2011, I believe,
Mm.
and basically it's compatible with the other Desert Ghost lines, and it just has a little bit more of a blonde color to it. It's a little bit cleaner, it's a little bit brighter, and he noticed this off the
Mhm.
bat. So I believe he bred it to a het Desert Ghost, and he popped out Desert Ghost animals, and that's how he proved it was compatible with the other Desert
Yeah.
Ghost lines. And he was able to actually pick out the blondies in comparison to the non-blondie DGs. So
Wow.
it does have a different visual influence than a
Hmm.
regular enhancer or Desert Ghost line. I haven't seen too much of the DG. I think it's called the Bell line, if I'm
Mhm.
not
I
mistaken. The
think I've
Bell
heard of
line.
that. Belline.
Yeah, that was
Um,
one of the original lines.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's really clean. It's much more blonde in color, as you guys can see from the pictures. Like it's
Mhm.
not so much creamy. It's like almost like a blonde tan color. It's really interesting. Now
Yeah.
the split gene is actually an incomplete dominant gene that I think Hans said he popped it up in his hurricane animals.
Hmm.
Um, and what it is it's basically a hypermelanistic gene. So it
Hmm.
makes the dark black, the blacks darker in the snake, especially inside the alien heads, like where the keyholes are. The blacks are just really, really dark,
Yeah.
and it makes for really high contrast. And he's actually proved a super form of it too. The super form is a really dark snake. It almost looks like a super GHI, like very similar to
Ooh.
a super GHI.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I can.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Like like it is. I love how clean these look. Super busy pattern, but it's not like it's really not smudgy at all. Like you can see, especially on the like just along the back. Like there's only a few spots where it fades out into a lighter color, but yeah, in the keyholes it is just black. That's really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how well she ages. He sent me a picture of, I think it's like a 500 or 600 gram animal, same genetics as mine, and
Mhm.
it just looks incredible. Like it is
Yeah,
so clean, so bright. They actually get better as they get older, which I know is rare for ball pythons,
yeah.
but this
Oh,
one right here, I'm really excited about. It's going to be cool to see this one age.
awesome. I love when they get better as they age.
Yeah,
That makes me happy.
that
Yeah, and
contrast.
hopefully I can send you guys some sheds from this girl so you guys can get some maybe blondie line sheds and start working on the split gene too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
yeah.
great.
Especially if it looks similar, the homozygous form looks similar to GHI. We know where to look for that. So that
Hmm.
would be interesting if it happens to be something close to where GHI is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to look at his page and see if he's made any split combos without hurricane because I'm not sure if he's made it without any hurricane in it yet. He might
Mm,
have. But I've definitely seen the super split versions with hurricane in it, and basically the super split really like opens the alien head up a lot. Like the keyholes become massive. Like it
mm.
basically blows out the
Hmm.
alien head and you just get this very thin ring around the keyhole, and the
Wow,
Ooh,
snake is super dark, like super dark.
that's cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
really cool gene, and shout out to Hans. I didn't even know he was sending me this snake with the split gene. I bought it as
Oh.
a Hurricane DG Blondie,
Mhm.
and he knew I really wanted a super hurricane because I bothered him for like 6 months about it. I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you got a super hurricane one? I want super hurricane," and he ended up selling it already. So he was like, "I don't have a super. I have this one. Let me send it to you." And I don't think he knew right away that she had the split gene when he sold her to me. But as
Mm.
she grew, I think he started to see the influence of it and was like, "Hey, by the way, this has the split gene too." And I was like, "Oh, well, thanks for the surprise. That was
Yeah,
nice."
always
Awesome.
nice to get something, especially if it's something brand new you don't have in your collection. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if really anyone in the country has the split gene yet. So she could be the only one here. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Hans. I know a couple people in the UK and Germany that have bought from him have it, but I don't know of anyone in the US that has it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Too cool. Now I think you mentioned that this is like your new like passion project with the Starbursts.
Yes, so
Or
the
one of them. Yeah.
Starburst is one of my favorite lavender albino projects, if not my
Hmm.
favorite.
Yeah.
So the Starburst, for everyone who doesn't know, is Enchi, leopard, and lavender albino together.
Hmm.
This is the Mojave version of that, so this has Mojave on top of it, and
Pretty.
I'm just really excited to add so many different genes to this combination and
Hmm.
not even so much other recessive genes. Like I really want to see what like Hurricane's going to do in this. I want to see Scrambler, of course, in this. I'd love to see Blackhead in there. Just all different kinds
Ooh.
of genes that will just add some more saturation and color to it. And
Hmm.
to my surprise, so far the best looking one I've seen is the Mojave one. I think the Bell complex genes in lavender albino work really well, and
Yeah.
her color transformation has been crazy. So the picture to the left in my hand, that
Hmm.
was when I first got her, the first day I got her, and that's how she looked. And that
Wow.
video to the right is only about 4 months later, and you can
Mm.
see how big of a color change it already underwent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
that's crazy.
yeah, she was super pink at that stage, and I wish that
Mhm.
pink would held up. That's one of the things I'm trying to figure out with this snake. Now she's a little bit more orange in coloration, as you can
Ooh.
see.
Mhm.
Uh, Now she's a little bit more orange in coloration, as you can see in
There we
this
go.
picture. I
Yeah.
actually took that this weekend, so that's a recent picture of her. and she's still mind blowing. I really love how the pattern on her is like white. You don't really see that ever. Usually it's the opposite way around. Like the color, the base is white, and the pattern is what has color.
This video is not loading, but if I at least flip between these two, you can see like that's crazy. These like fiery looking patterns here as a baby have turned white.
Yeah, it's crazy. They've literally lost all their color and just turned to white, and everything else turned orange and yellow. And you can see her head is still a little bit pink.
Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. And I think adding something like maybe black pastel to that would really increase the saturation. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see black pastel in it. That would be awesome.
Black and another one.
Any darkening genes, I think, will be amazing in it. I really want to see Hurricane in it badly. I want to see what Hurricane will do to
the pattern.
Sure.
Yeah, awesome. Let's see. And so adding more pattern to it, I would never have guessed that this was a confusion added to a Starburst.
Yeah, so this is the Confusion Starburst. Shout out to Justin. I bought the snake from Justin, and she is beautiful. Now, I am a little bit disappointed with Confusion's interaction in it. I think it's mostly because of the Enchi. It reduces it a lot. I would have thought it would have maybe had like a more leopard look to it. But I'm hoping this year I can make some stuff with her that will be really cool. She's actually gravid right now. We're actually about 2 weeks away, and that was the ovulation right there. So I bred her to a pastel, super Enchi, super asphalt lavender albino. So I'm hoping down the road to make some super asphalt Starburst stuff and see how that looks.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
And then I think Confusion and Leopard will look really cool with the asphalt, because I love like Leopard freeways and Leopard super asphalt stuff. I think it'll really mess with the pattern.
Definitely. I have a soft spot for leopards. I don't have any ball pythons, but I'm starting to get sweet spots for different morphs. So eventually I'm going to get my ball python, you guys. But yeah, no, that's great. Oh, look at her.
A nice little bowl wrap. Yeah, she was an awesome breeder for me this year. This will be her first time. She'll be a first-time mom, so I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I waited 3 long years to see her wrapped around a clutch of eggs, so I'm super excited for that.
That'll be great.
Awesome. And the best part is her clutch should be the first one of the season. So we're starting off on a high note.
Wow.
Definitely. All right.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the Starburst project. I think it's got so much potential, and don't get me wrong, there's other recessive genes I'd like to add to it too. I'd really want to see what Sunset will look like with it. I think the Sunset Lavender project is going to be cool. I think that will be interesting to see, and I'd love to see Puzzle in it too. I'm interested in Puzzle as well.
Yeah, that'll be a really cool base. Like the coloration is already a really nice base, so I think really, like, especially if something like brought out the whites more, like a high contrast white and a crazy pattern, that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Well, great. I think I'm pretty sure that's everything we've got picture-wise to share today. So yeah, no, your passion is palpable. And it's been really, really great having you on to share it with us today.
I appreciate it, guys. I was looking forward to coming on and speaking with you guys, and I'm honored to be sponsored by RGI. You guys, are setting the standard in the industry for shed testing, and it's helping so many people, not only myself, so many other breeders and keepers. And I believe I've even had some pet keepers go over to you guys' page and shed test their animals for gender and for just different morphs. I get so many messages all the time from people that are just like, hey, I got this snake. Someone gave it to me. Can you ID it? And I just send them the link to RGI. I just said, shed test it.
Yep. Oh, thank you. What were you saying, Ben?
I was coughing. Sorry, I'm cold.
All good.
Y'all probably see me do this like 20 times during this. Sorry, I'm trying to not be too interruptive.
That's okay. You're
It's
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice at all.
Good.
I
Yeah,
didn't notice at all.
Yes. Well, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And just so people know for sure, if for some reason they hadn't heard of you before, it is Balls of Fury. That's your handle on Instagram and for Facebook.
So yep, for Facebook.
I'm at YouTube.
Well, my Facebook is linked to my Instagram, so it's the same thing anyways. Balls of
Perfect.
Fury, ball pythons. If you
Yep.
search Balls of Fury on YouTube, you might get the movie. So put
Probably.
ball pythons instead. Put
Yeah.
Balls of Fury, ball pythons, because you'll get the movie to pop up.
Right.
And then it sounds like you're kind of going to some different shows. What are if people want to be able to try to catch you in person, what shows do you plan to go to this year?
Yeah, so I usually try to go to every local show in Rhode Island at least. They usually have it twice a year. It's the Show Me Reptiles and Exotics show. I usually go to that one every time they have it, just to check it out and also see some of my friends that are vending there. And then I go to some in Massachusetts. I got to check the show circuit schedule. I haven't really even looked at it, to be honest with you guys. Definitely Tinley this year. If I can fit Daytona in there, I'm definitely going to try to go to Daytona. I love Daytona, but those will probably be the shows I'll be at most likely.
Cool.
I do also want to go to the Southeast Reptile Expo. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
That looked really cool.
Yeah, I haven't been able to make it to one of those yet. I would like to make it to one of those too.
Definitely.
Yeah, that looked awesome. Shout out to Bob Vu. I definitely want to go check that out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on. And I think you had some YouTube videos talking about the DG Blondie project, right? Those are some ones.
I just dropped one yesterday, and also her unboxing video too. I spoke about it as well, so you guys can check that out on YouTube. You guys can also go check out Hans Winter as well, who I got the snake from. He you can learn all about it on his page. He's got so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, lots of good content with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement and education. That's the other part. As RGI as a company, the things we're looking for are people that are not only selling a lot of animals or going to a lot of shows or doing a lot of social media, but also taking the time to educate people, because that's a different layer. It's more work. To put that in. And anyway, you're doing a beautiful job. We're very thankful to be working with you, and thanks again for coming on.
I appreciate it, you guys. Education is huge. That's one of my favorite parts about this, especially with people that don't know anything about snakes. Like when I find somebody that's afraid of snakes, I start getting happy, because I'm like, okay, now I can educate them and get them over their fear. Because normally fear is just a lack of knowledge about something. Like the more you know about something, the less scary it becomes. So I love educating people about them. It's awesome. And I could talk about snakes for hours. So sometimes my friends know better than to start me with snakes, because they know I'll just keep talking.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, friends, family, random strangers. It doesn't, like, I'm like 1 degree of separation from talking about snakes on any topic. So
real estate agent.
Real estate agent? Yeah, no, my real estate agent now, like she's like, oh my God, after you get moved into your new house, which we're house hunting right now. She's like, okay, I'm bringing my kids over. We're gonna meet your snakes. And I said, awesome, bring them in.
It's a great icebreaker. I'll tell you that. When you tell someone I keep 40 snakes, they're like, you do what? Instantly got their attention. So
exactly.
And the shirts get me in trouble too. A lot of times, the other day I was at Chipotle ordering food, and they were like, "Oh, that's a really cool logo. Like, what is that for?" And I was like, "Oh, it's actually a shed testing company. They test the sheds of snakes that I breed." And they were like, "You breed snakes?" And they just started a whole thing in the Chipotle line. So I was like, "Oh my goodness, I can't get away from it."
It just makes you that much more interesting as a person, honestly. It's great.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm excited to see the industry continue to grow, see new people get in it. And that's why I love education too. I want to get more people into it. The more people we get into it, you know, the better everything will be, the more it'll grow.
Exactly. All right. Well, yeah, fantastic episode. And like, y'all, the flow was amazing. I'm going to have to edit this later, but I won't have to do much. Like, this was just bam, 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 like perfect. So
Perfect.
awesome. Great having you on, Mike. We'll have to get the rest of you guys on here one day too, to talk about all your projects. But
absolutely.
But yeah, you know, the usual. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and go subscribe to. Oh my gosh, you got fireworks!
That was awesome.
What?
That was awesome.
What? Oh, that was cool. I didn't know StreamYard did that. Nice.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, yeah. I lost my entire train of thought because of that, but that was fun.
Sorry.
Was that the double thumbs up that did it?
I think so.
Maybe the,
yeah.
Oh my god! Do it for me. I want. Okay. Let's try the. Maybe if I go straight up. I don't know. Okay, I'll maybe next time. All right. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
You're the one running the show, so they can't let you get too out of control.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and I guess we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Outro in 3, 2, 1.